Johnson to close. Senator Harper, you're recognized.
You know, I had promised myself that we would not, no more guns, that we would not, particularly this year. But I got concerned that we are covering our butts by allowing us to we can have guns downstairs. And that really gives me pause. It gives me great pause that we have now we can just carry our gun downstairs and do whatever we want to do with it. And I'll tell you the thing that has bothered me so much. When you think about 20 children, 20 young children who were 5 and 6 years old, that they couldn't go downstairs. When you think about it, those babies, they stayed all night and the next day just where they were because they couldn't move their babies. Think about, and the first thing we're doing is talking about guns. I just think there's something else we can do other than deal with guns. There has to be. I don't know if you remember, if you stayed all night just to see whether or not those babies whether they were covered up, or if there was any kind of heat there. But no matter what, they were dead. They were shot. You think about children that are 6 years old that were just shot for no reason at all. But then we're taking care of ourselves down here that we can carry our guns wherever we want to, even downstairs. And that just gives me pause that the first thing that we get here that we start talking about is guns. We've had guns all of our lives. But look like that's all we talk about now is guns and guns. There has to be another way. I just hope we can find something else to do. I wish we didn't have to. I wish you wouldn't have that vote today. I do. I wish you didn't have that vote today. There's some other things that are more important than whether or not you can have a gun downstairs in the whatever it is. There's just more to life than guns. There has to be. Thank you.
If you go back the last 50 years, all of the shootings that have occurred in this country, with the exception of one, where there have been more than 3 people's lives lost, those have occurred in places where guns are not allowed. Every single one but one exception. What this bill does is it allows guns in places where they've been prohibited before, and thus protect people. If you look at the shooting in Petal, Mississippi, it was at a school. My home state of Mississippi. The vice principal ran out, crossed the school parking lot to another parking lot, got the gun out of his car, came back and stopped the shooter and saved lives. The only person who can stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. And again, we do grieve the loss of life, but this bill actually helps prevent that loss. And who are we to tell a single mom driving through a rough part of town who has her child in the back of her car that she can't protect herself when she leaves her gun in her car at her workplace? In fact, it's not only her right to protect her child, it's her duty to protect that child. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Two very brief points to my friend from Davidson County referencing downstairs. I'm not sure if she meant the parking garage or Legislative Plaza, but that's a perfect example. This bill would allow carry permit holders to carry their weapon in their car in the parking garage, just as would apply anywhere else. It would not apply within the walls of the Legislative Plaza because that's posted, and we're not changing that. Senator Green did a great job. I just want to point out the incident I believe that the senator from Davidson County was referring to was committed by someone who did not have a handgun carry permit, and I believe at last count broke about 14 laws in the process of committing that horrible crime. Mr. Speaker, this is a reasoned bill. It's a solid compromise. Not everyone is agreeable with it, but I think it's a good spot to be for all interested parties, and I'd appreciate members' favorable consideration. Renew my motion.